flying. DJ looking at the 24, trying to get into second. See if he can chase down.
Somebody told me they thought that the drag strip was closed, Mooresville Dragway. But I think it's open, because I saw someone live from there, but I don't know if they were live showing an old film, but it said live from Mooresville Dragway. So I think it's still open. Which is really cool. That's where my son drove a lot. He would do a lot of test and tune for his friends' cars.
Dale Jarrett inches away from Jeff Gordon. Took a look under like 2 laps ago off turn 2. Now Gordon pulls away.
I think he did test and tune for like 2 years. I remember going there watching him drive. He was so good, really. He almost hit the wall once. He was
And once again, as we have seen all,
wrestling the Mustang with some nitrous.
the 23 battling for position. Right now, it's the
It wanted to turn on him, and he just grabbed the gear and stuffed it, and it went the right way.
All right, Ned, with fresh rubber, the speed should be up. Let's check the speeds.
I'd like to find somebody who filmed it. I tried to film it.
Over 100.
I panicked when he went sideways and hit the pause button.
119 miles an hour.
No joke. So I got him burnout, taking off, and just doing that. And I hit the pause because I thought he was going to wreck. Oh, we wrecked.
Together.
Yeah.
Turn 4.
I remember scoring for Bodine here, and he didn't wreck. Look at that. Look how good everybody is. No big water sheet metal.
Earnhardt coming through. Jeff Gordon up.
And that was a tough one to miss.
Got his left back.
And Earnhardt got his lap back. Went all the way back to the bottom of the racetrack and by Rusty Wallace.
For Jeff to spin out,
Eddie, that's the
to be honest, I mean, I watched him all through his early modified career and everything, and oh God, he was our rival.
what happened to bring out caution number 2.
They even had bounties on him. He won so much in modifieds.
Comes up behind him in the yellow car.
And
Down on the
he
inside.
ended up working out of our stable.
Spencer.
Oh, he got spun.
Contact.
I was going to say, Jeff just doesn't just lose it. Brett, Todd, yeah, I mean,
as he's
bless their hearts, you know,
there we see the
they sort of,
trying to get by.
you know, did well on the short tracks, but they didn't have the short track experience that
Here's our
Jeff did. They mostly worked on his cars, I think.
Jeff Gordon. And Earnhardt down to the inside on the
He's a hell of a driving talent, so he wouldn't just like lose it. I'm pretty sure.
left and nailed the throttle. Let's go down.
After he got his bell rung, I know that he didn't drive too well for a while, but
For Dale Earnhardt and the Goodwrench crew, but look at this tire. This was the last tire that they
Blistered.
pulled off the race car. Everyone was wondering, why are they going backwards so fast? The tire was blistering, and Dale just couldn't hold on. A big break for Dale Earnhardt.
that's
Bodine in the
like about the worst blistering I think I've actually seen, if not the same as Lewis.
with the left side of
All right, where am I?
with the left side, so I guess the toe ends.
My ex is holding the tire on the other side, the little short guy.
He had run in the top 10 all day.
I'm probably behind the pit box.
Tough break here for him.
I would have a jean jacket on, to be honest.
C car for Bodine.
I always stood like back where you see the people's legs behind where the tires are. 'Cause I didn't want to be in the. Oh, that might have been me just walking over there.
They all pitted on lap 410. So
Maybe. I can't tell.
unless
I
someone
have to look back later. No, that's not me.
valuable track position.
That's somebody that has a clipboard and is doing something important. I would have been just like
Moved by him. And I think
there for fun.
hitting back there on the back stretch, he come in. They have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Well, fresh rubber on the Goodwrench Chevrolet. He, as you said, Ned, is in 16th spot. Back with more.
But
Thunder Valley.
my hair was, I want to say it was long then. Yeah. Shit, I got a picture of me in 96. Oh, I left my mouse over there when I was searching. I found the video. I wanted to see. This one's cool. We'll just do a part.
The 19th caution of the day is over, and Rusty just pulls away.
Okay, found my mouse. Left it on the counter. Carry it around.
Jeff Gordon caught on the outside of the lap car, Ward Burton.
Oh, we got to ad. I snoozed as much as I could, and the ad begins.
Spot away. There's a battle
Flip.
position as Chad Little on
All right. What was I gonna do?
and there we go, battle
I was
for
gonna do something. I forgot.
second.
I forgot.
Derek goes around Jeff Gordon, taking second spot away. Terry Labonte moving.
Yeah, running threw me off.
Well, the strategy on the 24 car has been that it takes a while for the tires in the car to come in after a pit stop. So Ray Evernham, after that last pit stop, told
My ding dong, I forgot what I was going to say.
he'll be okay.
Yeah, about the part 2. This is the early Bristol race. I would have been there for fun.
So Ray said, well, these tires are a little different right now. Jeff trying to get back under the 88, and he's going to pick up that position, and Terry Labonte goes along with him. So we'll have to wait and see if Gordon's car is getting better as the laps go by.
Well, Jeff Gordon did exactly to Dale Jarrett what Dale Jarrett had done to Jeff Gordon. He got up on him, worked him hard, got him loose, took the air off his spoiler and passed him. Gordon stayed right on the back bumper of Jarrett, did exactly the same
I was going to show you.
thing.
This is basically what I would have looked like in the pits if you saw me in the pits.
Dale Jarrett may have a tire going down. They think it's okay now, but he thought for a while he had a tire going down, and that's what happened right there. So DJ will now have to work it in and make sure.
That's what I would have looked like. So, but I wouldn't have had a black jacket. I didn't own a black jacket. I used some red and
Twosome, that Hendrick.
such
Gordon and Labonte.
Western style,
That's the interval right there. 1.2
red and black.
seconds back for the
think.
24 car.
I would guess that Jarrett thinking he had a flat tire was the fact that Gordon got up under his rear bumper and just made him so.
Yeah, I would have. That's what I would have had the jean jacket on for sure.
We see 1.42. Let's see 1.36, so 0.08 of a second closer that time.
63 laps remain here at Bristol, Tennessee.
You see Terry Labonte is not
The next one is the one where my dad did the setup for the whole bit with the setup and all that on. Well, my dad was working with the 81,
second. They gained on the leader.
but I don't think he was working with him this race because he didn't work until Gil Martin left. So I'd have to look at one of the databases, see when Gil Martin left. That's when my dad started helping. My dad's always been kind of like a suitcase Jake Elder kind of guy. That would, if he was so well known because he had been in the sport since 81.
This is the second and third place cars.
And he had been in IMSA, so he knew so many owners. A lot of the owners had cars in IMSA. And a lot of the drivers drove in IMSA from time to time, like Gordon. And,
Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer car.
oh, Jesus. Do you think Jeff was trying to get him?
Steve Grissom, hard contact in the wall.
Oh, Grissom ended up being a victim of all that baloney.
Somebody else's team.
No,
Hi, I'm
oops,
Tom
shoot.
Grieve, former state prosecutor and
Thank you,
USC
Tom
network attorney.
Grieve.
I want to tell you about a free
Nothing's free.
Got caught up in somebody else's team.
Jesus.
Saw some contact.
Okay, now for me to have been at this track, I would have to remember them coming back. Whoa.
I just hope that Steve Grissom is okay. We see the left rear tire of Grissom. He had heavy contact in the wall.
Took the whole wheel off.
The window net is down. That's good news. You see
Oh.
Steve moving around inside.
Oh, that's the worst kind of hit. That's the kind of hit that took John's life.
Oh, man, don't get any tougher than that.
It doesn't sound like a thing. All it hurt there just knocked the wheel off the left rear.
Reason being, your head comes out and actually hits the wall.
I promise.
But, yeah.
Like the whole net stretches. I know you wouldn't think so, but
Gary, unless it's got a hook
Yeah.
or a stud hooked to it.
That's right.
I know out
Hans devices are saving so many lives.
a couple inches.
Hello.
Now, we were following the 7 car of Jeff Bodine and watching the 23 car of Jimmy Spencer move in.
This is down the backstretch. Here comes the 23 car. They come off the corner. Spencer goes by on the outside. Here comes Bodine. They come off the corner, and there's some contact. Now, here comes the 41 car and slams in that outside wall. We did not see that. We'll see it from a different angle.
When Spencer's car gets up on the wall there,
Yes, it did. Right side came off the ground.
he stays out there, but boy, he could have some front end toe end damage to his car.
Well, Spencer kept on going. He's still in 7th place, as you said, Ned, but he took a lick on that wall. We saw some sparks fly. Now Steve Grissom has climbed out of the Kodiak Chevrolet, and he hit a ton up there in turn 1.
Car 23 was trying to wreck each other, weren't they? Yeah, they won't both of them in the trailer after the race. He started to go to the bottom, but he made it.
I would see Steve limping as he leaves.
Yeah, poor Steve hurt himself. Sorry, I was muted on purpose there for a minute. I was talking with my son, but okay, all the whole story part, I'm gonna cut out of the, of this one before when I put it on YouTube. Oh, I have a YouTube page I've had forever, and it's like all kinds of stuff, but I'm trying to put my motorsport stuff in the foreground because I'll have to refer back to a lot of it.
Coverage of the 7th running of the NASCAR Winston Cup.
Whenever I'd be writing this book thing. Or continuing.
By Team Monte Carlo.
Got the early years almost done, but anyway.
By Bridge and Stratton, your #1 source of power.
I put all these on YouTube, and when I put it on YouTube, what I'm going to do is clip out the part of me saying that my dad set it up for that race, because he was not with them then. So what I'm going to do is clip out that
for a tire change
and just play Bristol Part 1 and Bristol Part 2.
Back in the field, they had
and
catch up the field, came back in and changed the left side this last time, so now Spencer has 4 fresh tires.
That's what I'll do. So the Bristol Part 2 applies to the story I told y'all before
With the
of setting it up for the pole, and they changed the setup.
That might not show up until it gets up to
for the race.
Well, you really got to feel for Steve Grissom. He's the one that really suffered.
And then that ends up being the night race. The night race.
Number 20.
Car's going to the 3rd corner.
So,
the bottom of 7 and 23.
My son was just showing me the one that I should have been playing.
There's
I grabbed the wrong one off the playlist, and I was a ding-dong.
Steve Grissom comes along, and
but I do that a lot.
In the rear, he cuts his left rear down.
Took Tanya Tucker's salsa right off the end of that thing. I met Tanya Tucker too. She was one of my favorite singers, like as a child, and one of my dad's favorite singers. And
now watch the 41 with no place to go. He's on the brakes.
I used to sing all her songs at karaoke and everything like that, and
slams the wall with the left side.
I got to meet her through this year of that whole scenario, her sponsoring him.
Running in the top.
She's very petite, very tiny person. She had the short hair then.
The left side is where all the
she's so
the left rear as he came by and called
so quiet.
Forward.
Be honest, very quiet person.
Year 2000. It's a computer out.
I would say more on the cute side than elegant, but you could tell she looked like a star. The way she carried herself and stuff.
That's supposed to go.
Very tiny little person.
For banks and people like that, everything is dated.
How to convert from 1999 to 2000.
My husband at the time got the.
There's Rusty Wallace.
Actually, he got the privilege of going and picking her up at the airport and driving her to the track.
He's
so
Bristol in the 90s. 14 races, 4 wins.
That was probably a really cool memory for him.
3 poles and 15.
I spoke to him actually on
Jeff
by text.
Labonte were gaining on him right before that caution came.
Because I wanted to know where he worked after he left this team. Let me look it up.
Well, buckle your seatbelts. The Battle of Bristol is about to get serious. 50 laps remain. Actually, they'll take the green on lap 451. Makes it 49 to go. After 20 caution flags, here they come out of turn 4. Rusty, Jeff, Terry, Dale.
I thought he had only worked for Roush.
Got himself a great start once again.
Like it takes a couple laps of that 24 car to define Chevy to get up to speed. But then once it does, it's all been running. driven by Joe Nemechek, the Bell South Chevy. And one car between Gordon and Keith.
So anyway, what did he say?
Rick Henry car.
That's the Ricky Rudd car back
The drivers he has worked for: Bobby Hillen,
between
Jimmy Spencer, Greg Sachs, Jimmy Hensley, Ed Berrier, Michael Rich, Lake Speed, Jeff Bodine, Todd Bodine, Barry Bodine, Kevin LePage, Mark Martin, and Kurt Busch.
Very high.
Those are the drivers my ex-husband worked for after he left this team.
Three abreast in the corner. They made it.
He said, so after I worked for Jeff, I went to work for Barry Bodine in the truck series for Prime Performance
10th.
in 1999. We went to Daytona in Busch car with Barry. After Daytona, we went to Rockingham with Mike Stefanik.
Now the 5.
Wow, how nice to know.
Up and
That's a modified driver.
what about
Steve May was crew chief then. Oh, Steve. He worked for the Budweiser car. He's in that one famous, I think, Darrell Waltrip, maybe?
Mark Van Batten got back.
Where he was running around. There's a Bud poster with a guy running around in the hose. Just like that's Steve May.
Whatever he's got now, he can show it. Come out of here.
We made the race, and on our way to Vegas, Mike got hurt testing a truck.
Closed down on the 24 car. Bill Weber.
Mike Stefanik. I remember that. We turned around and went back. The team shut down.
He ran into me. I passed him a couple.
Me and a friend went to Atlanta,
No contact.
and we're helping Phil Parsons in a Busch car, and we both found jobs. I went to Roush
But he just flat run into me.
on the 16 car with Kevin LePage, and my friend went to
That was stupid.
Melling with Jerry Nadeau.
That either.
And he said, I think Joe, I had asked him about a Nazareth race, and he said Joe Bessie filled in for Jimmy Spencer at Moroso.
I hit him on the caution on purpose, that was for sure. After that, my steering broke coming off turn 4.
I seen him do that.
I broke, and I hit him and a bunch of other guys. But they're going to talk to me. They're going to have a talk with it in a trailer.
He gonna get hand slip.
But he ran into me. It's about time, I guess, somebody told the truth. He's wild out there. He's crazy. Okay, that's about all Jeff has. John Kernan, I believe, is with.
And Jimmy Spencer was a new driver, and they were running
Has been checked out in
cup races, conflicts with them running those races. That was when he got the ride with Travis Carter.
Just come in and had him check my foot. That's unfortunate.
I guess you could add Ken Bouchard and Joe Bessie. I remember that.
The ankle that he injured was his right ankle.
Oh, I never replied to him.
Atlanta, and it is swollen right now.
I'm such an ass, but I will.
Getting ready to go change clothes.
I mean, I replied, wow, cool, thanks, but then, he had said some other things like he was glad he could help yesterday or whatever,
number 20
or hoped he helped. And he did.
from some of those?
It fills in some blanks for me, too,
He goes in the corner, goes up.
as far as where
Gets in the back. I mean, watch this. Oh!
the different teams were at the time.
No heavy
That
contact.
was Brett Bodine in the car number 11 that made contact with him.
But at least I can talk to him after, 30 years since we were divorced?
For Rusty
I don't know, something like that.
Gordon seems to be closing in a little bit, guys.
No, not quite. 25 years.
Body and closing in on Rusty Wallace. Mark Martin's closing in on Dale Jarrett. So a lot of racing up here in the top 5.
Here we go. We'll check up the line and see.
Oh, thanks for lurking, Pop. I'll catch up with you soon.
500ths of a second. Jeff Gordon's behind Rusty Wallace. Now, the next time by, we'll check that again and see what it tells us. Here they come off turn 4. There goes Rusty. Here comes Jeff. 0.83. Almost the same.
The reason this was listed and caught my eye was something to do with the 2,
For 7th.
Penske number 2, the blue and white
flag, and now
car running with
in 7th position.
Gordon's rainbow colors. This was like the last race they ran that or something. or last season.
Sun is out and
I misunderstood what the title was saying. See,
this crowd of 118,000 today has certainly got their money's worth. When we come back, we'll see if Gordon
it was something in the description. That's what I was reading.
back in a moment.
Actually, I mean, in reality, I should probably bring Jeff on here sometime to talk about some of the races that he worked at and give you the perspective from a transporter driver's point of view.
Last 3 laps.
We can see just a few.
See, I saw the race. We were both working, and though we were in the same place and we all, you know, we rode together, this, that, and the other,
Several lap cars.
I had a job to do, and he had a job to do. And so
Grinding here, folks.
it was work at the track and
Up there trying to stay,
personal at home, I guess is how you would put it. And
jockeying around trying to stay.
it's really actually strange, but I've worked with several husbands at different jobs at different times.
Bristol is beat.
And I was always able to separate business from personal. And
Gordon dives down to the inside.
I guess that's why
He's on the outside of barrier.
with racing, I, since very young, learned to be very unemotional about like racing. And I mean, I'd love to be a fan and scream. And when we were little kids, we wanted to. But my mom said you can clap for anyone you want, but we were never allowed to boo for nobody. Because, as she put it very bluntly,
Now watch
Dad could work with them next week. You never know. Because my dad was one that worked on contract.
these two are in heavy traffic.
Both these hits.
Sometimes
And here goes Gordon. On the
race per race or 6 races at a time. Or
off the corner. Tries to get by the 96.
he helped anyone who wanted to go faster. And if they wanted to pay him to show up at a racetrack, he'd go. He still will.
1, 2, 3. Right there. Together.
He's still with it. He's with it more than me, obviously. He sent me the right tape and I grabbed the wrong one off the playlist.
Turn 2, but they got straightened out.
They flash by Rick Mass, Remington arms forward, and now there's some clear traffic. If Gordon
Fun fact about my dad, after he became, you know,
He's looking. He can't quite get the
all he wanted to be in racing, pretty much. I don't know how to put it. He had won just about anything. And
Gordon's able to get up there and
when you get older, going to the track every week gets a bit tedious. So he stopped doing that week to week after 2000. But he has gone to the local short tracks. He'll go to any track, help someone go faster. If he spent time setting up your car, it will go faster, guaranteed. Because he's done it over and over and over and over, and it's never not. But long story short,
12 laps to go, this time by Wallace, Gordon, Labonte.
he's still very wise on it, and me, I forget what's what. Because I was
No, he can't quite make it.
Rusty slip a little.
honestly working a full-time job. I was an executive secretary for a corporation in Cornelius, and
For my COPD.
I ended up
Bryce Tree gave me better breathing.
working these races on the weekends. So sometimes I could get a long weekend and go to the track with him in the truck, like I probably did this race.
It'll be 10 to go. Next
But the other times I would fly out on the Race Day Express when I had to be there if I was scoring, which was the second half of 96 and the second half of 97.
It was earlier in the
Because when silly season starts, you know, it opens up
Right now,
positions for scoring. And because he was going to the track, they didn't have to pay transportation unless I had to fly.
less than 2.
And
and they're still.
that was mainly for the faraway places. I drove to all the others. And it was less expense for the team. I got paid $150 to go. I got
In a moment,
$25 a day per diem, so there was another
side of his teammate. Terry might have the best
100
car right now.
or another 50.
His teammate.
And I got
He looks on the inside.
my pit pass paid and, you know,
Just left.
the whole 9 yards, like the NASCAR license and everything was.
Rusty's loving that because he's able to pull away by 3 car lengths.
I had already bought, so they didn't have to pay for that. So that was a savings for them, a hotel savings because I stayed with my ex.
the checkered flag. top of the hour.
And I could step right in and know what I was doing.
Feet here at Bristol.
And I was trusted, so. Transponders killed the scoring stand. We're obsolete.
All of a sudden, Jeff Gordon not able to get off the corner like he was a few laps ago, Ned.
Those tires have been on there now for almost 100 laps, so they're all getting a little bit squirrely out there as they head off the turns. And boy, Rusty Wallace doing a great job of protecting that inside line.
There's Ray Evernham, the crew chief.
Looks like Jeff is going to win, maybe.
Watching intently as his driver tries to take the lead.
There's Robin Pemberton, the crew chief.
Or Rusty, I mean.
South machine, the
But Jeff's right on his butt there, ain't he?
While they're doing,
Ooh, I got an ant bite on my leg.
Dale Jarrett and Mark,
Ooh, he got tapped.
they're moving in ever so close, but I don't think they're going to be able to move in close enough to do anything.
One thing about Gordon is he
traffic
wouldn't purposefully wreck you. If you brake checked him right now, he would hit you.
this time by.
Facts. Nah, he can't come off the corner like Rusty can. Rusty's reeling him in. If you see how much he gained right there.
Inside of Gordon. Tries, can't quite do it.
Actually, that was 2 to go, so they will wave the white flag on Rusty. 0.533.
He won't have to deal with those lap cars, I don't think.
1997.
And heavy traffic.
Whoa, shoot. Yeah, Spencer, what are you doing, man?
Gordon takes a look again. Rusty comes down.
I tell you, he was a hell of a driver when he drove for us. Oh, my God.
Jeff Gordon will win at Bristol, Tennessee. Wallace second.
Did you see that finish? Oh, my God, that was amazing.
Wow. Ray Evernham is ecstatic. Unbelievable. Less than a quarter of a mile from the finish. Rusty gets high, slips the car.
So this is the first 1997
Possibly happen out there.
Bristol race.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I have no idea. I watched the crowd and they all stood up. I really thought Terry had us, and he come off of there, and I mean it's unbelievable. I mean, you got to thank God. I mean that's the way that stuff happens. I don't know, but thanks to DuPont.
And a heavy foot inside that 24 that did a Hail Mary. I ain't lifting.
Hurt your heart, it hurt mine.
Man, two teammates up there fighting for the lead, and Gordon pulls it off.
All right, here's the replay of that final lap.
Something happened to Rusty. He got in a marble. No, he hit that edge. He hit the curb.
Gordon comes up underneath him, takes the lead and runs away. Rusty still wobbly as he comes off the turn. Here comes Terry Labonte, almost gets by him and start finish.
At least Rusty got a second.
Couldn't quite make the pass.
I think
Boom.
Did they make contact?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if Rusty might have touched the apron with the left front or the contact back there. I really can't tell.
Rusty had to lift. He hit that apron and it set him.
Kicks the back end out, something that some of the drivers were concerned about.
Maybe 3.5 feet at
Benny was right there.
between the 2 and the 5. A reaction over in the Gordon pit. Is Ray Evernham happy or what? Yeah, they. And there's a big smile on the young man who has won his 3rd straight Food City 500.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
Let's go down to our McDonald's one here from Jeff Gordon. Bill?
Jeff Gordon, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's 3 wins in a row at this race. Tell me about the last lap.
Well, that certainly was interesting because not only was I trying to get by Terry or
Rusty's his name.
Rusty, I mean, he was tough all day. I knew he was going to be the guy to beat, but I was trying to get by him, but then I had to worry about Terry. And, you know, that set of tires wasn't as good as the time before. I was a little bit tight, and then I'd get loose. But I tell you what, I got to thank these guys on this DuPont Chevrolet. They did an awesome job today in the pits and gave me a great race car. And, you know, it was pretty tight down there. I mean, that's what Bristol's all about. You get down to the closing lap at Bristol, and it's any man for himself. I've seen it done many times.
Were you concerned on that last set of tires that your car was not going to come around to you?
It really didn't. It never really came as good as it was earlier, but it was still good enough to catch Rusty, and that's all I needed.
Well, congratulations. That's a great win for you. And Ray had said late in the race that his money was on you.
Well, he better put his money on me, but that doesn't mean it's going to be guaranteed every time. But I put my money on him, and I tell you what, these guys have been great. And really proud of this one today.
That's Jeff Gordon in victory lane to John Kernan with Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace is over by the gas pumps now to your second place finish. And Rusty, what a wild finish. What happened there? How did he get around you?
Just a lap car down there in turn 1 and 2 with the last lap, checker flags waving or white flags waving, and a 23 car was on the bottom of the track there, and we all had to go around the outside of him. And when that happened, it let him get up on my rear end, and he get close to me. Then I got down to turn 3 and got one of those old love taps, and I got up the racetrack a little bit, and
he hit the curb.
That's about it.
Well, it was still a good run for Rusty Wallace.
He'll look at it and say,
today. Let's go upstairs, Jerry.
Well, we talk about how close it is at Bristol and what the action is like, Ned and Benny, but that was one whale of a finish.
You know, Bruton's going to have 130,000 seats here in August. And ain't enough, Bruton. I'm telling you, it ain't enough.
Well, that's 118,000 that enjoyed it today. They're going to go home and tell their friends. We come back in August, 130,000. That's not what Jeff Bird wants to hear. More seats, more work, but great action here at Thunder Valley. We'll come back and talk to some more people after this.
It doesn't look like they have more people because that's the end of the tape. I do have Bristol Part 2 right here because I found the right ones. So here we go. This is the one my dad sent me, the pole qualifying. And this is the one he set him up for the pole. And I think they put Rusty's setup in for the race. I think that's because Rusty was pretty fast
champion starting spot.
In the daytime.
2 years ago here in August, Mark Martin, 15.339 seconds. And the
Let me get back to the beginning because I had previewed it a second. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the one I'm supposed to be watching.
4 guys have won 2 poles. There have been 5 first-time pole winners this year in 1997. Our latest pole winner, of course, last week at Michigan when Johnny Benson picked up a pole in the Pennzoil Pontiac.
That's right. Rusty and Kenny got bumped off the front row. But I had in my head he got the pole. Like, I think he's going to get the pole now. Because this is why Dad sent this to me, because I think they get the pole. And I grabbed the wrong one off the playlist. Because it was on my phone he sent me, and I just added it to his playlist. But
and the unit count challenge
added it to the bottom, not the top.
A cool 83,000.
I watch, if you knew how many races I watch in a day,
for one of many reasons,
iRacing and
check in on the grid with Bill Weber.
Reviewing
is important too, and Jeff Gordon talking to his wife Brooke.
You'd understand how confused I could get.
One of the cars to beat here in qualifying for the pole.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised myself. We're running pretty good today, and I hope we can hang on to it. The car's really strong and made some great runs. I think we're going to have to pick it up a little bit, though. We're one of the early cars out. I'd imagine some guys in the back didn't show all they had in practice, and I think we're going to have to run in at least the low 40s, 1540s to sit on the pole today.
And Ned and Jerry were just explaining why it's so important to start up front because there's nowhere to pass here.
Well, we've been pretty fortunate to start up front here, and I think that's what contributes to some good finishes here. And Ray and I have been watching the tapes from this night race, and you got to start up front. I mean, you got to stay out of trouble, and the way to do that, the best way to do that is to be up front. So qualifying is very important here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff Gordon, fastest in practice, BP.
Hey, Corky, just get a one shot. I can't get too close to this guy. Brett, your luck is awful.
It's just terrible. This morning, Phil and I were standing here, brother Phil and I were standing here talking about how bad our luck's been lately, and both of us tore up race cars in practice. Just a bad day for us here.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we had a good car too. That's a shame we tore that car up. It'd been about 14th, 15th fastest all day, and now we've got a backup car that hasn't even seen the racetrack yet. So qualifying lap isn't going to be too sporty. We're just getting ready for second round qualifying tomorrow.
What happened?
Driver just got in the corner too deep. Left his foot on the accelerator too long.
Where's the crew chief? We need to hit you in the head with a hammer or something.
Yeah, I know it. That just, it's a real shame. I rarely make a mistake like that. And today I did it. And I got in there too deep. The car turned around on me and it backed in the fence.
Okay, Jerry. All right, our schedule coming up tonight following Bush Pole qualifying at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Our live flag-to-flag coverage. NASCAR, Busch Series, Food City 250, LaJoy, and a guy named Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the front row. NASCAR today coming up 7 o'clock Eastern Time. That's John.
Ooh, Earnhardt's going out first.
And, of course, NASCAR Winston Cup goodies, headache powder, 500 coming your way live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That, of course, tomorrow night. Folks, tighten your seatbelts on the sofa. The fastest hour of qualifying you've ever seen, and the man on the roll, the first of 45 cars to go. 8-time winner here at Bristol, Tennessee. He's a 7-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt, and he takes the white flag. Ned Jarrett completing the first of 2 consecutive laps.
Jeff Gordon said he thought he would take somewhere in the low 40s. That's 1540.
I always think of that
Earnhardt,
early 70s song Superstar when I see him.
794 on the first lap. His second,
or Shooting Star,
maybe just a little bit slower. Don't know that,
or whatever.
In Busch qualifying here a little bit earlier, didn't see a great deal of difference in first or second lap. It didn't have a great deal to do with tires or anything like that, just the approach that they made in and off the turns.
Yeah, his second lap slower, 15.837. Let's check in with Bill.
Rusty Wallace is a 6-time winner here, being pushed into the line, putting on his gloves. Rusty, a lot of success here. How's your car?
Car's real good. It's been real good all day, so I hope I get the pole. It's running great.
He's very optimistic. Was second fastest in the first 2-hour practice session this morning behind Gordon.
Rusty Wallace won this race a year ago. Last August, this guy right here sat on the outside front row. Back here in April, see if he can do it again.
All this chat about all these superstars getting the fastest times in practice and all. And
Chevrolet driver, Sterling Marlin.
This is the qualifying they put Dad's setup in.
And quick lap on his first lap. And
they won't for the race, but they do for qualifying.
We told you it's quick here, folks. The second lap indeed, Ned, even quicker.
122.552 2 miles an hour.
Okay, remember we were looking at 15.54 for the pole last race during the daytime, but they qualify on the same time.
Bill Elliott.
Oh, I love that paint. That was one of my favorite paints.
Tonight color, sort of the Mac Tonight, the sunglasses.
Probably my all-time favorite paint.
Who plays jazz on the piano, backed by a Neon City Nightscape as he goes out to qualify, and we check in with Benny Parsons.
Hey, Dale.
And I was here. We were with the 7 car.
We run all day fast as we run. I don't know. I don't know, man. I tell you what, that son of yours, ran so good at Michigan. And folks, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the outside pole of the Busch race we got coming up. He is really turning it up.
Well, he is, but I need to turn it up, too. Daggone, we need to be on the front straightaway pits. It don't look like that over yet. Man, that's so great.
All right, Bill Elliott, third quickest, 15.803 seconds. His first lap, the quicker of the two, as he is third quickest right now. It is Marlin, Earnhardt, and Elliott, and this guy right here, Ned Jarrett, is fast.
You see a lot of day glow
here today.
Yes, they had a 2-hour
on these night cars.
12 to 2, and then from 3 to 4, and he was fastest in both of those sessions of practice.
Gordon, a 3-time winner in Bristol, Tennessee, but has never won in the night race here in August.
I was scoring this race then, so I would be here in the pit area right now, but on the race I'd be up in the booth.
And he's currently on the pole with that first lap here.
15 points
in the scoring tower.
122.874 miles an hour, and Gordon backs up to practice with the rainbow efforts in the DuPont Chevrolet. Second lap, man, a little bit slow.
A little bit slower for his second lap. 15.683. Let's go to the pits and Benny with Sterling Marlin.
Well, I was going to interview the pole sitter, but guess what?
I figured it was going to happen. Jeff's been running good. He's had us about a 10th all day, and that's fast we run all day. And he might have slowed down a little bit. So we closed the gap up, but we didn't close up enough.
Can he be beat?
6 car, he's off tough here. He sits on a lot of poles, and Rusty sat on a pole this spring. So if we wind up top 5, hopefully we'll be okay.
All right. Point the pole. Rusty Wallace, what did he do that first lap, guys?
All right, Rusty coming by. In practice, Benny, Rusty ran a 61, which is exactly what Gordon ran to put himself on the pole, and then a little bit slower than his practice lap.
Yeah, 15.704, just very close. He shut it down, didn't take the second lap, so apparently got into turn 1, didn't like what he felt there, and decided well, there's no point in taking any chance going around. Wasn't going to be better than the first lap, so he He's third fastest at the moment.
Okay, that is RP, the car he won with at Richmond. They named RP after Roger Penske, and Robin Pemberton, the crew chief. Rusty currently is third quickest behind Jeff Gordon, Sterling Marlin, and of course Rusty, Earnhardt, and Bill Elliott. Let's check in again with Benny.
Hey, champ, how was it?
Well, let me eat my words. I don't think you're going to get in the low 40s. If somebody does, I'm going to be a long ways back.
Wow.
Okay, they might got to show me don't think those words.
Man, I tell you, I got loose. I got real loose. And I'm a little disappointed in that run right now. But who knows? You know, this track, you know, does some different things. It might be the same for everybody. We'll see what happens.
Okay, Jim.
All right, Ricky Rudd's tied, Rod. You saw that graphic a moment ago, out of the top 10 of the points for the first time in a long, long time, on the strength of, or actually 40th and 29th place finishes the last 2 times out. First lap for Rudd, 15.903 seconds, 120.656 miles an hour, puts him 6th of the 6 cars that have qualified. And the first laps have been the quicker of the 2, Ned.
Yes, they have, and that might be a pattern here in Winston Cup cars. A little bit faster on the second one for Ricky Rudd, just 200ths of a second.
All right, 6 of 45 cars have qualified. Back with more from Thunder Valley in a moment. Back in Bristol, Tennessee, the low Chevrolet for Mike Skinner qualifying. His first lap quicker of the 2, 15.790 seconds. The second lap was slow, 16.017 seconds. That puts him right now 4th overall of the 7 cars that have qualified.
Coming out now is Dick Trickle, the Hollick Myers Ford, number 90.
Junie Dunleavy owed that car. I'm very, very fortunate to have been in the infield and in the garage area with someone like Junie and Dick Trickle both. It meant a lot. When I would see them, I'd know how good they are.
15.777 seconds. That's currently 4th fastest.
Miles per hour, I don't know crap about. I just care about the time. They really got confused. I guess the fans like the speed.
Better tonight. And the Dennis Shoemaker car, we'll see second lap on Dick Trickle, was quicker.
15.634 seconds.
Dennis Shoemaker must be.
Makes him second fastest at the moment.
How about that for Dick Trickle, the Holly Myers Ford? We check in with Bill.
With the owner and Junie Dunleavy. I think Junie maybe. Junie was there. I mean, Junie worked on that car.
Do it right now. Got a lot of the Skittles folks here, so hopefully let's get a good qualifying effort and get some practice time in for tomorrow.
Derek Hope in the top 10 in this morning's practice.
And here's the guy, Bill, is in the top 5 in both sections. Texan Terry Labonte, the Kellogg Chevrolet. 2 NASCAR Winston Cup victories here in Bristol, Tennessee, both of which have come in the Goodies 500 August event. He won an 84.
I don't know who the 54 was.
Also won a Chevy.
Might have done it on commercial.
He improved it on his second lap. We'll see here when he flashes up.
Second time by for Texas Terry. Some of the guys have run a little quicker. Majority have run a little bit slower in the second lap, Ned, unless they made a mistake in the first lap.
And so Terry did run slower on his second lap, so he's still 5th fastest. 15.722 seconds was his elapsed time on his first lap.
5th best, right? We told you he was in the top 5 in practice, and it was slower, as you said, Ned, second time by.
15.771 seconds, so 122.046 for Terry Labonte.
White flag for the MBNA Pontiac for Ward Burton.
Hey, he's got himself a good lap here, too.
Ward is one of 7 drivers who won a pole a year ago, but has not yet won a pole in 1997. Driving the Bill Davis machine, and he drives it deep in turn 3 and has to hang on.
Wow.
He's 4th fastest on his first lap. I think that driving deep in that third turn hurt him a little bit in that second lap, though, Jerry. It was slower at 15.806. His first lap was 15.669, 122.458. Benny?
15.6.
Look up on the board.
Back where Earnhardt is.
Pretty nice, huh?
Well, I like it. I mean, the team's working really.
Gosh, I love that guy.
Got everything it takes. We just need some time to work things out. Tommy Baldwin come along with our crew chief. He's going to be an asset to us. We got as good a sponsor as there is. Old Junior, he gives us some advice.
Well, who is that sponsor?
Heilig Meyer.
Oh, okay. I forgot all about that. You're supposed to say that, Trickle.
Well, I figured you'd say it.
Okay, I did.
No, they've been real good and patient with us. But I said before, the weeks and months, well, months, first 10 weeks, should start showing us better and better because we're trying to get our cars up to date. And it was a good run, our best lap of the day.
Okay, what the 4-3 guy car do, guys? 15.781 on his first lap, Benny. 121.589, currently 7th fastest. Might be just a tick of the clock faster on his second lap.
Bobby Hamilton, one of the 15 drivers that has won a pole in 1997. His pole coming up at Pocono, driving the STP Pontiac for Richard Petty.
Identical laps. Both of his laps exactly the same, right down to the thousandths of a second.
Wow, consistency.
Flat on the floor, it's all it would do as Bobby Hamilton clocks in 7th quickest. Back with more from Bristol in a moment. Back at Bristol, 12-time winner in the silver anniversary, celebrating his 25th year in NASCAR. Old DW, the Parts America Chevrolet. Now for the checkered flag.
His first lap is 15.826 seconds, which was 11th fastest so far. And I think he's a little bit faster on his second lap. Yes, he is. 15.742 seconds. 121.890 for DW.
And they will officially honor him tomorrow night by naming a Darrell Waltrip grandstand here that holds about 35,000 folks. And what an appropriate name that would be for someone who's done a lot for Tennessee, for fans here in Tennessee. And here's a guy who just qualified a moment ago, Gary Bradbury. Ned, his first lap was 15.924. Second lap, 15.96. If we took his first lap, and that put him 13th overall of the cars that have qualified at 120.497.
And the man on the racetrack right now is the man who holds the track record here at the Bristol Motor Speedway is Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford. And everybody figures he would be a threat for the pole, and he always is here.
He has won 4 of the last 5 poles here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Those cars have a really strange rattle, like almost like a lifter rattle.
It goes by, there's more shade that comes back there, and that should help him.
His first lap, Ned, is 3rd quickest, 15.640, 122.68.
Sound, not really a rattle.
Slower.
Faster. It was slower.
Yes, it was. 15.740 seconds, 121.906.
6'4", not too shabby.
Left to run, including this guy, Ted Musgrave, who won pole last year, still looking for pole number 1 here in 1997. Back with his run in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, Morgan Shepherd and Ed Jarrett did a great job to keep that car out of the wall. 2 laps on the track, both of which the car was very, very loose. His first lap, 16.052. Second one slower, 16.126. He clocks in 15th quickest, but I know the car can do better because he did a whale of a job just hanging on.
He really did. He was fortunate to bring it back because he was very, very close out there.
A lesser experienced driver wouldn't have.
There it comes with a good first lap here.
As we watch, and Cole, 3 and 4, gathers it back in. The Skittles Pontiac driver, man, almost headed for the wall.
Yikes.
He was another fortunate one to be able to bring it back. So his first lap, Jerry, was
sure wanting to walk out on a lot of these guys, aren't it?
And that is 5th fastest.
Okay, that's why it was so quick. 5th quickest from the first lap from Derek Cope. As we check in with Benny.
You were talking about something dragging the racetrack, your exhaust or something?
Yeah, you know, you pound these corners so hard. We hit the exhaust pipes, I think, coming off of 2, and it jumped it out toward the wall. And I had to raise off the floor a little bit or I'd have hit the wall. So
that cost you the pole?
Oh, I'm not worried about the pole. I'm going to get the front stretch with a 64 there, I think. And, you know, that stood in between us having a shot to win last time, pitting on the back stretch. And I'm not going to be a pig. I don't care about the pole. I just want a front stretch spot so we can, you know, race these guys for, you know, to have a chance to win this thing.
Hey, Weber, he won at Michigan. What about his teammate here at Bristol?
Let's check in. Ted Musgrave fast on the wide open 2-mile track. How about this tiny little track here?
Hey, it's a typical Bristol, you know. One little minor slip could cost you a 10th of a second. And you know that means 5th to 25th.
Can you get top 5 here?
We did it last time, but, you know, like I say, Bristol's really, really tough to qualify. And, you know, one little slip or one good corner could get you forward or back. So, who knows? We'll try it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, and 17th fastest for the 11 car, Brett Bodina's backup car.
16.5.
198 seconds on the second lap.
5.4.
18.459, but He didn't have much time, really, to get that car dialed in.
Well, we mentioned the back to primary car and Wallop in turn 4 just laid it.
16.
That car that probably was the best lap they've had on the backup car for Brett Bodine. Kenny Schrader in the Skoll Chevrolet. The Andy Petrie-owned machine comes down for the white flag. Jeff Gordon is on our pole thus far.
Schrader took over Harry's run.
0.616 seconds.
Schrader has 122.248, seventh fastest here on his first lap. And he betters
There were just people in the pit that were staples, what you call, you always see them. They were always faithfully there, and he was one of them.
What his second lap is, I just said that from my watch, and 15.645. Currently fourth fastest.
Fourth quickest, and
Put a smile on your face when you walk by these heroes.
Watkins Glen, Formula One, Grand Prix of Belgium, and a Bristol wrap-up. That's all coming up on RPM tonight with John Kernan at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. RPM tonight. We'll even come back here and talk to you a little bit from Bristol, Tennessee.
Hey, Michael Waltrip.
In just a moment.
QVC anywhere there?
Back in Bristol, Tennessee.
We were working with QVC. I was scoring the car, but I would be
Mad 15 points.
like down around there. I wouldn't go on pit road. I just felt like it wasn't my place. I'd be like
is 11th quickest.
Probably sitting on the wall.
Cars that have qualified.
Feet inside, not outside ever.
Ford number 28. We'll see where he checks in. 15.724 seconds on his first lap, 122.030, and that puts him 10th fastest. So that bumps the last supercar back one.
All right, Hut Strickland getting ready to go out. You see the
John Andretti, that's who is in there.
He's already won a pole this year at Talladega. One of the 15 drivers is in the Bud Shootout for 1998. The Circuit City Ford of Hut Strickland had
a lot of people that raced in the
Hut qualified 7 in the
95-97 range.
And the Food City
got a lot of cancer.
Now he is the 21st car to qualify, Jerry, and there are 21 pits on the front stretch.
Many, like, cured and lived. Dad, for one,
bumping them from
had some too.
And the sun has gone behind.
And it's mostly like from chemicals.
Mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains of Tennessee. Let's see if that helped cut a little bit on his first.
That we were exposed to. So,
track conditions.
So far, I'm lucky.
A little bit cooler. Probably take the cement a few minutes to cool down, maybe a little bit more than it would the asphalt. I'm not sure, but it should help those from here on out more.
But I think I got some neurological stuff going on from it.
5-7 slower second time.
I'm getting symptoms of tremors. I don't know if it's the beginning of
puts him currently 17th of the 20.
Something worse, or if it's just part of my fibro/MS or whatever that they suspect I have.
We mentioned there are 7 drivers in 1997 that won poles a year ago that are still have not won a pole this year, and Ted Musgrave was among those, along with Ricky Craven, Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, Jeff and Ward.
I was around a lot of paint and stuff when I used to paint cars too, like letter them, cleaning up with.
Close to Jeff Gordon now, 15.687. That's the 8th fastest. Wow, there's
paint thinners and stuff is not good for you, and we never wore gloves with any of the parts washers or anything.
A little bit slower. Yes, it is. 15.718 seconds. So, 8th fastest for pit.
So Jeff Bodine hasn't gone out yet, and my dad's car, 81, hasn't gone out yet.
Bristol Motor Speedway, back with more.
Myself and my ex were working with Jeff Bodine.
Gordon is our
and
thus far.
My dad was working with Kenny Wallace Square D. So they're in the back of the line.
Tennessee qualifying, continue. That's the top 15.
Where are we?
The latest car.
Right there. I might be there. We have a bunch of people on pit road.
First lap was quicker than the second one at 15.838. And you see Chad Little clocks in at 18 quickest out of 23
I tended to not go out on pit road except for the national anthem.
He was fast in practice, Jerry.
Because
loose off turn 2 over there on his first lap. That hurt him a little bit.
It wasn't my place.
He was in practice on that first lap. See that graphic there? He's fallen down some in the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings recently with some trouble. And I think that first lap sort of set the tone for him, and he just never could get it back to.
Also, you know, they have rules.
They were here today.
Like how many people on pit road, and if I wasn't up on the latest
658
rules in my mind, I wouldn't go on pit road anytime, really.
But he's in the front pits at the moment.
that I wasn't supposed to.
Standing by with DC, Derek Cope.
And Derek, you wanted to smile because you're sixth, but you're frowning because you think it could have been a little bit better except for 3 and 4 there.
Well, you know, you'd always like to think so, but that's why I tried to reach down and grab a little more a second lap. I knew I was maybe just a tick off first lap, and you know, just wasn't there to get. But good run for the Skittles Pontiac anyways.
Tough to stop it when it goes into a move like that, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty lucky to come back and not have to take the hammers to it. So, you know, that's part of Bristol, but we're fortunate. And
Earlier today, I did the first Bristol race.
Okay, so
I explained it wrong. I'll cut that part off.
18th right now for the 4th.
In my YouTube.
When ninth here in the spring, Bill.
After I export it.
Chevrolet driver for Steve Grissom, who won both Busch Grand National events here in 1995. His first lap, 15.796 seconds. His second lap, a little bit slower, Dad.
That 95 Grissom, my dad was with Grissom. Some of that.
Steve Grissom.
With the Monarchy car and the Channel Lock car.
That have qualified. Brett Bodine on the hot seat in the backup car. He just joined us. Brett had an encounter with the fourth turn.
29.
Doesn't get much time in the backup car. That's why he is 25th right now in qualifying. As Jimmy Spencer.
Well, he loves this racetrack. He drives it well. He's many laps here. Got himself a pretty good qualifying run here in his first lap. Got the pole that he's going to be up, I believe, in the top 10. Let's see. Close to it. Yes, he is. 10th exactly.
And that's where he qualified in the spring in the Camel Ford. Travis Carter machine. Donnie Wingo, the crew chief there.
Oh, Donnie, that's who was with him. I recognized him on the box, and I couldn't think of his name.
Top and the bubble on the bottom, and he is slower but holds on in 10th place.
He was a
and that does
common face at the track, too.
It puts the car number 77 of Morgan Shepherd. There are Spencer's 2 laps and speeds. If you're keeping track at home, he is 10th quickest right now out of the 26 cars, and it's qualified. 45 cars are here to attempt to qualify.
And Bobby Labonte.
I think Dad said he was full-time 97 with Kenny Wallace most of the year. He started out with Mike Wallace for like 2 races.
Drivers won a pole this year. He won
and
driving for Joe Gibbs, the interstate battle.
He left and went to Kenny's team with Phil Martacci's own team.
Grandstand shades.
Because he had worked with him on and off forever. I think Kenny was is one of Dad's faves, like as far as people in the sport that he worked for.
His second lap is...
Kenny always seemed really appreciative of Dad's help and stuff like that.
But it's still 22nd.
And the important thing to know is there are only 21 pit spots on the front straightaway, so 21 spots. You want to be in the top 25.
Dad's proud of being there for Kenny's first win and his last win.
Be able to pit
in in asphalt.
With more qualifying
Cup or Busch.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, qualifying continued. Robbie Gordon's Coors Chevrolet. If you don't see him in the top 15, it's because he qualified 26th quickest just a moment ago. His 2 laps, 16.156. The first lap, second lap for Gordon, 15.998 seconds, 119.940. Does not get him in the top 25.
Jeff Green on the racetrack right now, car number 29. He gets in the top 25 on that first lap. Ooh, and he gets very high on that second lap.
Boy, he went up across the racetrack in turn 3.
Sure did.
Managed to hang on to it. His first lap, 15.784 seconds, 121.566 miles an hour.
And that was good enough for 16th at the moment.
16.
The second lap's where he had the scary slide in turn 3, drops down to 16.336, and we'll take his first lap, which does get him in the top 25, and that bumps Gary Bradbury. The cars that have been bumped in the top 25 are the car number 11, Brett Bodine, 77, Morgan Shepherd, the 40, which didn't qualify there, Robbie Gordon, and the 78 of Gary Bradbury. Car number 10, Rudd, on the bubble. We check in with Bill.
With Mayfield here, steering wheel on, helmet going on, 12.
Oh, Joe Nemechek.
We got a top 10 qualifying effort here.
What did that say, that front row stats?
Try something a little different this week and do all we can do and try not to worry about it here.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Mayfield. He
was some of the time that Dad was with him.
I think they may have found something.
All right. Front row Joe, the
Dad had
Chevrolet.
They had 2 wins in '92
He's in the top
in the Bush.
here so far.
IRP and New Hampshire.
Track is going to be about 14th. Yep, 121.620. And that will bump the car number 10 of Ricky Rudd.
Second lap for Nemechek, the quicker of the two, 15.777 seconds, 121.620. 14th out of 25. That puts the car number 8 on the hot seat. That is Hud Strickland in 25th. And if you just joined us, Jeff Gordon on the pole. Gordon's lap.
You could hear the squeal on those tires.
Seconds, 122.874 miles an hour as you watch Dale Jarrett in the Ford Credit Ford Thunderbird.
He's close, but I don't think close enough, Jerry. According to my watch, let's see.
About a foot off the bottom.
Close. Second fastest at the moment. Can he pick it up on the second lap?
He's got a 6.16. He ran a 6.34 first time by.
But he didn't pick it up on the second lap. He slowed down on the second lap.
It looked faster.
And there's the official times and speeds, Ned, for Dale Jarrett.
And I need the times.
Get the position because he's higher in the points.
Jarrett is third overall in the Winston Cup point standings.
There we go.
Slower, but Jarrett currently
6:34
in the Quality Care Ford. So right now it's Gordon and Jarrett. There's still plenty of hot dogs left to run.
Jeff Burton.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, Bush Pole qualifying ongoing. Dave Marcus, the Realtree Chevrolet, just getting his 2 laps of qualifying. His first lap was a scary one at 16.
There's our team right there.
Losing it at turn 3. Second lap quicker, 15.909 seconds. But Ned, not quick enough.
No, he almost lost it off turn 4 on the second lap. He slipped a little bit, and that certainly cost him a lot. And so he's pretty far back down the line, unfortunately.
Probably sitting on the wall like in the photograph in my top left corner.
Lap 20.
Second one down.
0.841 seconds, 121.129 miles an hour for lake speed.
He picked it up on his second lap, Jerry. I think he's going to bump Bobby Labonte out of the top 25 here.
I always sat on the pit wall with my legs to the inside and watched qualifying.
15.773 seconds, 121.651 miles per hour.
How in the world could they continue to qualify good week after week and still not get a sponsor on that car number 9? It boggles the mind. We check in now with Penny Parsons.
Well, DJ, not bad. Outside pole.
Not bad. Game close.
A little criticism, though, okay? You should have slowed down 1/1000th of a second.
Had to get to the inside?
Because you tied the 90 car, but you end up on the outside because you're higher in the points. He's 1/1000 seconds slower, you'd be on the inside.
I should have gone about 300s faster and I'd have been on the pole. And I'd have been on the inside, too.
Oh, that's true.
I always think faster. There you go. Good, pretty good. I just got a little high up in 3 and 4 the first lap, and that probably cost me a little bit. The car was awesome. These guys done a great job. It's a brand new race car. Not many people bring a brand new race car to Bristol, but Todd and the guys back at the shop did a great job of building this. It's been nice all day.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
Go Weber.
If you look on my border on the right-hand side, the second one down from my dad on the pit cart, and my dad there with this,
We're just going to try to get a good
with the
this is the car we have
clipboard. That's with the Square D car. Could be this race, could be another race, but it was that season.
Didn't bring it here. Jeremy Mayfield with us.
So that's how my dad would be dressed with the 81.
Getting better and better. Currently 12th.
Look at the water. It must have rained. There's my dad's.
Car 97 from the top 25.
Team.
Chad Little.
But look at this car right here. Kenny Wallace. He was third fastest in practice. The sun has gone back behind the car.
Third fastest in practice.
And Ned back in the spring. He qualified fourth. Only because of the slip coming off turn 2. Thought he had a shot.
Different crew chief in the spring.
I think he's got it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Turn 2, but that first lap may have been enough. Let's see the clocks. Indeed it was.
Hell yeah. Like blew the doors off him.
9.5 seconds for Kenny Wallace, the Square D Ford. The speed, 123.039.
Everybody else is 122. He blew the doors off him. That's why Dad wanted me to see it.
Boy, he accomplished it so far.
Because it was with Dad's setup. He said he did the setup for the qualifying.
I could have gotten my first.
They had a lot of people on that team.
He did indeed get his first.
My dad will be in the picture here somewhere.
Congratulate Kenny Wallace on a great qualifying lap.
And if nobody else beats them, that might serve a twofold purpose. As Benny pointed out to him, said, hey, if you're going to...
Pretty darn positive he wasn't listed as the crew chief because...
But there's still a lot of good cars to qualify.
He didn't do titles much.
All right, Burton is one of those drivers.
They talk about that?
In 1997, two-time winner.
Nice.
Already got
Kenny always gave him credit.
New Hampshire.
That's what I liked about Kenny the most.
Prepared machine.
Well, I like a lot of things about Kenny.
Right.
I shouldn't say the most.
There's the pole setter so far.
And you know what, Ned? Tomorrow night is Herman talking about Kenny Wallace's birthday. He turns 34.
34 years old.
And there's the second lap for Jeff Burton, a little bit slower. His first lap puts him 11th quickest and does indeed bump the car number 41 from the top 25. That is Steve Grissom. Well, there's the man, Kenny Wallace, who will turn 34 tomorrow night. Last year, we had a special night for Jeff Fuller on Busch Night. Possibly this guy will...
There's my dad in the back, right behind the guy that's red. Red hat. Winston dressed.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, Jeff Bodines,
there's our car.
15.700, 15.727. His first lap, the quicker of the two, puts him 12th quickest.
Okay, I'll be scoring that car in the race.
In the top 25. Earnhardt 26th quickest right now. When you see Rick Mast, Remington Arms, car number 75 out to qualify.
And he was not running very fast, Greg, compared to the others. He's running fast, but not nearly fast enough to get up in the top 25. He's currently 35th of the 38 cars that have qualified for Rick Mast.
There are the two laps for Rick Mast as we see his 35th place time as we check in with the pole sitter and Benny Parsons.
Well, Phil Martins is giving Kenny, look happy, man.
Remember my last name, Wallace, right? Yeah. Used to go home every Saturday night from Tri-City Speedway. If my dad runs second, we were depressed. So yeah, we're supposed to be here. But now, Benny, now I am nervous. Yeah. Because I do want to get the pole now.
You want to be greedy and get that pole.
At first, all I wanted to do was get in the front straightaway. So, yeah, I guess I am. I do want to be greedy, but I don't know. I want the pole.
He's close. John Beck's close, man. What do you do?
Benny, get away from the boy. Benny, get away from him.
No, it's just 10th fastest, but they're still 1560, 1568.
Benny, you don't want to jinx the boy, Benny.
You know, you don't believe in jinxes, do you? You know superstitious, sorry.
Let me tell you something. I watched all qualifying, and the key to me running that first lap was when Jeff Gordon said I got loose.
Yeah.
I run out, let me a pound out of the right rear in a hurry. Because I practice.
Okay.
All right, so watching TV does pay off. Wally Dollarback clocks him 10th quickest. This best lap, the second one, 15.674. Back in a moment.
Square D rep.
Back at Bristol, Budweiser Chevrolet for Ricky Craven on
Craven's back in it.
Qualifying laps, just completing his two consecutive qualifying.
Hendrick's car.
Well, they were almost identical laps. 15.073 seconds in his first lap and 15.700, 3 thousandths of a second difference in his two laps. He's currently 15th fastest.
And Ned, while we were away, we had an Elvis sighting here. The car number 96 is nicknamed Elvis. David Green had a great run in Elvis, his Caterpillar Chevrolet. Look there, Green falls in 8th quickest at 122.537 miles an hour for the Buzz McCall-owned Chevrolet. That's the top 10 as you see the car number 30. Last week's pole sitter, the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Boy, he came off that fourth turn. Got himself a pretty good lap. Looked like he got a little bit loose coming off of there. There's our current pole sitter, Kenny Wallace.
And Kenny Wallace watching. He knows that Benson is yet to run. Then 3 more cars, and that will do it.
Benson didn't lead him. Breathe one more time, Kenny. Only have 3 more to go.
Well, Benson's first lap, 21st quickest, 15.763 seconds, but Nettie was even quicker second time by.
How many to go?
15.741 seconds, but still is 21st.
And that will bump the car number 43 from the top 25. Bobby Hamilton has been bumped. A moment ago, Jeff Green was bumped, and Mike Skinner, as well as Michael Waltrip. Those have been bumped from the top 25.
Okay, here we go with Ed Barrier. He turned some pretty good practice laps here.
There's nothing worse. We've been in that position before with Joe a number of times, front row Joe.
He ran a 63 in the first practice session, and it's cool, so, I mean...
Tell him who's driving that car, Ben.
It's Ed Barrier.
Ed Barrier, yeah. What'd I say?
Gary Bradbury.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just see I got these crossed. I'm thanking the good Lord.
Well, he didn't beat him, didn't come close on that first lap, Danny Taylor, 15:81. But he improved it on the second lap. Not enough to beat Kenny, but he got himself a good lap. He's going to be pitting on the front stretch, I believe. Well, maybe not.
21st quickest net. He gets the final spot right now with 2 cars to run. 15.727 for Ed Barrier. 122.0.
Kenny's sweating it.
And that will bump the car number 1 of Lance Hooper from the...
Who's left?
Which
Martin?
With David Green, all smiles. Nice run.
Thanks, Bill. Bristol's been good to me again, so now the car's been pretty decent. You know, we were good in that last practice session, but pencil in the dilemma about when the sun goes down and starts getting cooler. It's about 15 degrees cooler now, so we guessed about 95% right on what to do. We just need a little bit more. But heck,
Ernie.
Hopefully a top 10 any day, no matter whether it's good or bad.
David Green, all smiling, and his heart pumping away there. Ernie on the track.
All right, there are 10 active drivers who are pole.
Oh, Martin already went.
One of those, he's won pole twice, but Ed, that first lap was not impressive.
And the second one was less impressive, Jerry. 30th fastest on his first lap, 7.92 seconds. And his second lap was even slower. He slipped coming off of turn 4, 15.917 seconds on the second lap. So Ernie not making the top 25 here.
All right.
When you're in that position,
left to run,
holding the pole, and they're still qualifying, you're going through that list looking at who could possibly get you, who could, and as each one of those big dogs will go down, you
and if he can hold his
sigh a little more relief, but you're never quite sure of it until the end.
Well, it was 18th fastest in practice. He turned to 15.78 seconds. Now that won't get it. Not he won't get the pole. In fact, I don't think that'll get him in the top 25. I got him at 15.74 on my unofficial stopwatch. Let's see what the official one says. Kenny getting breathe. I don't think Kyle's going to beat you for the pole. He's 24th fastest right now.
Boy, what consternation. Look at his face. He's been soft. Doesn't want to celebrate. Doesn't want to smile. But here's that final time and speed.
There him to smile. He's slower on his second lap.
All right, tell him he can do it. Yeah. Benny, how about it down there?
Okay.
Wow.
You know, you sit there, you try to tell yourself, if I get beat, you know, you get beat because the first lap was good. And so I don't know, you know, I want to thank Square D, Benny. You know, they've been good to us, and they've been waiting for a little bit of success. And it means a lot for the whole team, you know, to get this pole, because that's 2 this year. So that means Martinsville wasn't a fluke. But now the problem is it was another short track pole. So now I'm a short track driver, darn it. But I'm happier than heck.
But you did Dale Jarrett a favor. You know, I got on Dale Jarrett because I said if you'd slowed down a thousandth of a second, you'd have been on the inside. So you go out and you knock him back to the inside. 2 Fords on it inside row.
You know, and that's the way this racing is. You know, you're sitting there, you're 30th quick in practice. You say, man, we just get in the front straightaway. Then you get a chance for the pole and you want more. But it means a lot to me, Ben. It really does. You know, Winston Cup's everything I want. And it's been hard for me to break into this. And I just like to thank my crew chief, Newt Moore. He went out and hired Vic Kangas this week, and we figured Vic could help us out in the chassis area. And between him and Newt, they did a good job, and we had 1 lap in it, and that's what it was.
Now you go.
That's my dad.
About how to win the race.
I'm already thinking about how soft I can get in the rear and how soft I can get in the right front, and I'm already started, you know. I mean, that's just the way it is, you know. I mean, Rusty's won a lot of races here, and I know what he does, and if I can get that soft, then I'll be happy. But I'm really happy right now.
Somebody told me
Dad runs a stiff setup.
It is. I forgot.
It's his birthday.
I'll be 34 tomorrow. Happy birthday. I gave myself a heck of a birthday. Thank you, Self. Self said thank you.
All right, talk about parity. There are 4 Chevrolets, 4 Fords, and 2 Pontiacs in the top 10 in qualifying. And coming up tonight, how about some high-speed, high-banked action from Bristol, Tennessee? NASCAR Busch Series style, the Food City 250 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the other network, ESPN.
All right, so y'all got to see that.
In the top 5, then 3 Chevys and 2 Pontiacs, rounding out the top 10. Talking about parity. Dallenbach, Musgrave, Jeff Burton, Craven, and Jeff Bodine.
And look how close they are. 122 all on that page, excepting Kenny Wallace barely over.
And the ad didn't come on before the end. Thank goodness.
21st position. Folks, that is close.
And Ed Barrier qualifies in the front pits in 21st spot. Great run for Ed Barrier in the car number 95. Look at the guys who missed.
Newt Moore, that's who it was that's the crew chief. I was trying to think. I knew there was another crew chief.
Ernie Irvin missed the top 25. Dale Earnhardt, Bill Elliott, Bobby Labonte. That's how close the qualifying was here.
Jenny was already talking about softening it up, though.
Let's check in once again in the pits with Bill Weber.
Dad runs a stiff setup.
The MBNA team working hard and getting some results here at Bristol. You start 10th.
Yeah, the guys really worked good together today. It's a real pleasure to work with them when we all
QVC
work
trailer.
communicate well. I tell you, it's a tight field. Only in Winston Cup racing could you have a field that tight. The pole to 59, I run a 66. So if I'd run a 10th fast, I could have been on the pole. A 10th slow, I'd have been barely in the top 25.
That was my ride to get there, was the QVC trailer.
Think about that before you go out?
Nah, you know, we just all do the best we can. And
get to hand out hero cards out the passenger window.
and you can feel a 10th of a second a lot of places.
Have a good run here Saturday night.
Places.
Ward Burton smiling here at Bristol. Benny?
You know, Ned and Jerry during qualifying kept talking about front pit road, pit stops, pit stalls. This is the coveted area, all down the front stretch. What happens when the caution flag comes out? The pace car picks up the field. The next time by, the field is open, the pit road is open. These cars go in the pits. The guys that are pitted on the backstretch, they have to wait till the next time by. The pace car will drop these cars off. Then when he gets to the backstretch, he will drop those cars off. I mean, it just common sense tells you these guys will finish their work first. They'll go back on the racetrack, and they'll be in front of all the guys pitting on the backstretch. So if a guy starts 23rd, he works his way up to 10th, the caution flag comes out, he will probably go back to about 23rd or 24th on the next restart. So that's why all these front stretch pits are very, very coveted.
Boy, indeed, Ned, how close it is, and everyone wants to pit on the front straightaway. Now, Ned, it's a good thing Kenny Wallace got the pole in his first lap, because the second lap, well, it was a little bit frightening.
Yes, it was. Let's take a look. See how he got in that corner a little bit too hard, got loose, almost lost the car, but
he could save it.
Dad across the start-finish line and save.
Dad's setup is stiff.
All right, a lot of action coming your way at 7 o'clock Eastern time tonight.
In the front. So you stick.
RPM tonight, including an update on what happened to Ron Hornaday. Pretty horrifying.
Everybody wants to soften it up, but you can soften it up in little bites, evenly all the way around. Just a little bit.
Come back here for a quick insert at Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol coverage coming up this weekend. Of course, coming up 7:30 tonight. Food City 250.
Make it all
7:30 p.m.
work a little bit or feel more like a...
Tomorrow night, NASCAR today at 7 o'clock
anyway,
Eastern time.
A good feeling car is not necessarily fast.
Bob Jenkins will be here to call the action. 500 grueling laps on the high banks at Bristol, Tennessee. The Goodies Headache Powder 500. Let's go back to Bill.
Normally it's front row, Joe, but here...
Oh, John Hunter.
No, I had a Bell South Chevrolet, was running good in practice. The guys gave me a good car.
Oh, my God, that's John Hunter.
And just couldn't get the car to turn the corners, had to let off early and pick the gas up later. And when you can't step on the gas, you don't go fast.
And one tired fan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's Joe Nemechek. He'll have to examine his options for Saturday.
All right, don't forget, coming up next, Subaru American Outback. How about
what a sweet little
Herman Wallace picking up his second career Winston Cup pole, and he did it in style here at Thunder Valley Bristol Motor Speedway. For Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Putz. Congratulating Kenny, and Kenny, from us, an early